So I have a new ad here that hit Trump on the issue of healthcare, and this went viral on Twitter. Now, this is from a group I played you one ad from them previously. The name of the group is Midas Touch. Now, again, I'll just warn up front, I have no idea who these people are. For all I know, they could be terrible corporate Democrats, but that's largely irrelevant. I want to play this ad for you, talk about the upsides and the downsides when we come back.
When we win on November 8th, we will be able to immediately repeal and replace Obamacare. My first day in office, I'm going to ask Congress to put a bill on my desk. I hope we're going to surprise you with a really good plan. You're going to end up with great health care for a fraction of the price, and that's going to take place immediately after we go in, okay? Immediately. On my first day, you're going to be very proud of what we put forth, having to do with healthcare. I know that we're all going to make a deal on healthcare. That's such an easy one. Form a really great plan.
You've been in office 3.5 years. You don't have a plan.
Well, we haven't had... excuse me. You heard me yesterday. We're signing a healthcare plan within 2 weeks. A full and complete healthcare plan. I've been saying this for a long time.
So the upsides of that are you're dealing with an ad that's focused on bread and butter issues. And one of the things that pisses me off the most about modern politics is everybody overcomplicates it. And they get too much into the weeds, too much into like these granular issues that people really don't follow closely unless you're a big-time political junkie. What you need to do is stick to things that appeal to all the normies. The second you lose your normie touch, you're useless in politics. And so if you're focusing on an issue like healthcare, everybody gets it. Everybody, because it impacts everybody. If you focus on healthcare, if you focus on the economy, honestly, war is another one of the things. If you focus on war, because a lot of people know people who've been sent to war, you know, we're wasting a lot of our tax money on it. So you need to stick with the bread and butter issues. Because that's going to appeal to everybody. You're even very likely to chip away at people who are part of the other party if you focus on the bread and butter issues. So that's the upside of this. The other upside of it is I love when you dig up the things that he said because, yeah, he just talks shit all the time. And there's no accountability. Honestly, the media should be doing this kind of stuff where they say, hey, you said X and then you didn't deliver. You didn't even try. You didn't get anywhere near delivering like you said you would. So that's important. And people very rarely go back and check what politicians have said and really hold them accountable. So that's the other thing I like about this. Now, here's where the ad is slightly off. And I feel like this lack of the little bit of edge is a problem with many standard Democrats and their approach to politics. It's missing a little piece. The little piece is probably the most important, which is instead of making the argument, oh, he has no plan, okay, you have to show what's actually happened. And under Donald Trump, before the coronavirus, you had 7 to 9 million Americans lose their health insurance. 7 to 9 million Americans. That's under Trump. Now, during and after coronavirus, there is no after, we're still in it. During coronavirus, over 20 million Americans lost their health insurance. Now, there's this thing from the New York Times that was going around where it's like 5.4 million or something like that, they're saying lost their health insurance. That is a gigantic underestimate because they have the number I'm citing, the over 20 million number, that's from the Kaiser Family Foundation, which always does these kinds of healthcare polls. And this is people saying, yes, I lost healthcare. So I don't think that 5 million number is anywhere near accurate. I think it's way more than that. Way more than that. Because the real unemployment rate is over 20%. The real unemployment rate is over 20%. And we have healthcare in this country is attached to your job. So if 20% of people are unemployed, yeah, that's what's going to happen. You're going to have at least 20 million Americans. Surprise, it's not more. It might be more. And we just don't know the extent of it. But so under Trump, you've had about 30 million people or more lose their health insurance. So you could play the same clips of him, saying the stuff that he said, but then show the headlines of 30 million Americans lose health insurance under Trump. Because the way they framed it was like, he said he was going to do X, he didn't do X, that's a problem. Okay, but the real way to frame it is, he said he was going to do X, he didn't do X. In fact, things got way, way worse. 30 million without health insurance. So that's what I would do. That's the argument I would go with. See, they're so close. Like, I feel like so many of these ads, they're so close, but they just come up short. Like, this is still a good ad, don't get me wrong. It's focusing on healthcare, which is so important. But it's just missing that one little edge, that one little fact at the end, which really is the thing that opens everybody's eyes. In my experience, and I've been, I have had a political show for a long time. In my experience, there are instances of like aha moments. And it's usually things that are just so simple and straightforward that give people the aha moments. Like, as soon as people know, like, under this guy's presidency, 30 million people lost their health insurance, that's one of those things that a lot of people go, oh, that's like totally unforgivable. You know how many uninsured people there are in other developed countries? None. They have universal health care. We don't. We have a pandemic and tens of millions of people hemorrhaging their health insurance at the same time. So these are the things that are unacceptable. These are the things that give people the light bulb moments. I love showing his old statements, but just you got to mix it in with that fact.